Hey everyone, welcome to the garden that is Send Us Flowers, where we only curate the best vibes. I'm your host, Liz, or Busy. I'm That's Busy on Instagram. And today I am joined by Nadir Pearson, and he is an incredible cannabis entrepreneur extraordinaire. You have done so much in the space for so many years at such a young age. And so I really am excited to talk to you today about a few different things. First off, starting your smoking journey and where that's taken you, especially with your app Hybrid, and then other work you do, behind the scenes, and especially your relationship with sports and cannabis. I know you also recently took a tea break, so I want to learn all about how that was, and of course, how I like to start every episode, who you're sending flowers to.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Liz, Busy, however you need to remember it. I call you Liz always, and truthfully, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm definitely going to be sending flowers to Chanel Lindsay, founder of Ardent, out of Massachusetts, specifically because that was how I got my first start in the industry. Mm-hmm. My first ever job was an internship at Ardent while I was still in college.
Wow.
And, just seeing her as a mentor that has entrepreneur experience, was a lawyer by trade, has been at the forefront of advocacy in the state of Massachusetts and bringing that from medical to adult use back in 2016, 2017. Yeah. So for me to see all of that in one individual, and let alone a Black woman who also went to an Ivy League school and has done so much, really was a great first experience for me to say what I could do and be in the space.
That's so cool. And I want to hear more. You mentioned college. I know that, you have started a whole community of young people in universities to be able to engage with cannabis and create that space for them. What was that like? And how did you start your smoking journey in general?
Yeah, so I'll start with how I started smoking.
Yeah.
It was in high school, my sophomore year. I was, never into drinking or anything beforehand, but it was something about hearing about weed for so many years and not really understanding what it was. Just you hear weed here and there. And then one day I was like really encouraged by my mother not to Google this, but to use Google growing up, just be like, asking her things, and she'd just be like, Google it. Like, that's your generation. Like, I don't know why you're asking me this. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, well, let me get, you get behind the wheel, right?
Wow.
And, so, I think it was the conflicting thing of like being something that was bad, especially like in DARE. I had DARE in 5th grade, as much as they don't want you to use drugs, it really made me want to use drugs just because, or at least made them interesting, right? Because it was like, here's Pikachu and Pokemon and like all the things that they want to warn you about. But it really made me interested on, beyond the fact that these things were bad for you, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I think the conflicting narrative of weed being bad for you, plus it helping people with cancer was something that I was starting to hear about in college and high school.
Right.
And then in high school specifically, I decided, to ask my best friend after some time. I was like, hey, I want to try smoking weed. And he was like, yo, I would have never thought you asked me, let alone be interested in this, because I was an athlete.
Yeah.
You thought I was really straight edge in that regard. And I think I was, but doing that research and seeing that it was helping people, yet had this bad narrative, and hearing a little bit about that kind of was like, well, at least I did some research on something before I used it.
Yeah.
And that kind of was just like, well, I won't do it a lot. Let me just try it and see how it is. And I had a really great time, the first time I smoked.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was like, okay, I had fun. I ate graham crackers, video games, and everything seemed like way more vibrant. And all we did was hang out and pass out. And I was really shocked to hear such bad things, from other adults that I trusted, not necessarily my parents, but hearing all those negative things and then having my own experience and that being something so, I would say, positive in that regard.
Right.
And so that was a big inspiration for me.
Okay. And so after that, did your mom ever find out that you did smoke weed? Obviously, she must have.
Yeah, she definitely did.
Especially with what you do now. How does she feel about that? Is she supportive?
She found out I smoked weed, probably a year or two after I started. And it was funny because I actually found out that she smoked weed at the same time.
How'd that happen?
Because there was like remnants of weed items in my house. And they definitely weren't for me because I was hiding my weed stuff.
Right.
But then I opened the trash and there'd be like blunt wraps. And then I'm like, my stepdad smoked cigarettes. So I was like, is my stepdad doing that? Like, where is this coming from? Maybe one of my mom's friends, like, you know? And then one day, because I went to boarding school, my grandma had come over and, you know, grandmas love to clean shit. So my grandma decided to clean them in my room with my mom. And my mom found these like, you know, little things I bought, like little storage things and some papers, some zigzags. And it was like, I just got back home from boarding school one vacation and she just threw like a little Ziploc baggie with all those things on my lap. And she was like, yeah, let me know when you're ready to talk about that. And I was like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I was like,
you're like, you don't want me to Google it anymore?
Yeah, straight up. I was like, I'm ready right now. And by then I had a little bit of that, like, you might be smoking weed too.
Right.
So my mom has always been big about like not being a follower and having a reason as to why you do things that you do.
That's important.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great lesson to instill at a young age.
Yeah. So she always be like, oh, I don't care what religion you want to practice. You know, I was forced to practice Catholicism. I don't want to do that to you. But if you so happen to want to practice something, I need you to give me a good reason as to why,
right?
What inspired you, you know, and not just be like, because other people are doing it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just expressed that, like, it helped me relax. Like, I did this with my friends. I wasn't like, you know, and nothing had really triggered the fact that I use cannabis or weed beyond, like, I wasn't dropping out in school or failing or having anything alarming there. So I think she just found that and was curious as to why I expressed that. And then I flipped it on her and I was like, why do you smoke weed?
Right.
Or excuse me, I asked, do you smoke weed? First and foremost, to kind of get that clean. And then she said, yeah. And I was like, so why do you do it? And then her answers were like the same as mine.
Yeah.
So then we kind of had a thing where she's like, you know, you're getting to an age now where I can't tell you everything to do, but I will let you know that, like, I don't condone you doing this at a young age.
Right.
You know, so
that makes sense.
I just had a level of respect to not do it so much in front of her or like around and just still try to conceal it for so many years. But yeah, that was kind of how that first went. And me getting into the industry definitely happened in college. So.
Yeah. Well, because you know, to say that you weren't, you know, to say that you weren't doing bad in high school is kind of an understatement. You were excelling. So, you know, tell us a little bit about that, especially the sports aspect.
Yeah. Always have been playing sports growing up. Primarily basketball and football were my two main. Did some wrestling and growing up, did some baseball, really sucked at baseball, honestly. You take lessons, you want to be a good person. You know, you as an athlete, you just want to be good at everything.
Yeah.
Then you realize you're not good at everything, right? And then that's how you play your role in life. And that's how I learned about that, you know. And yeah, going into high school, I was like 130 soaking wet, you know, my freshman year, and then puberty hits and you get, you know, you work out a lot and you figure out, you know, where you want to dedicate your craft. And that became football for me because I knew that would be the best opportunity to go to the next level in college.
Right.
That was the sport that I was best at. And so went really hard, got pursued by some NEPSAC schools. So like the Bates, the Amherst,
right.
Williams College, those kind of D3 stuff. But, you know, your drive is to always go D1, try to reach the highest levels. So, you know, Brown came to me towards the end of my senior fall. And that was an opportunity where I went on campus, eventually, you know, committed to going there. And so that's kind of how I got to go play Division I football at Brown University.
Wow.
So that opened up a huge door, you know, for caveat for everyone. Like, there's no scholarship per se when you go to Ivy Leagues to play sports, but there is a helping you get into the school situation.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's kind of how I, you know, transitioned from high school to being a D1 athlete, smoking the whole time.
Yeah.
Right?
So what was that like? How did you, you know, maintain this identity with weed, but also pursue, you know, this like insane level of athleticism?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't able to be forthright about my usage.
Course.
You know, in high school, being in boarding school in Connecticut, right? A lot of us did smoke. I mean, even throughout my years, you see you can see consistently on teams, athletes smoke a lot.
Yeah.
You know? And for me, I had concussions in high school. We definitely helped with the pain that I had after some games, you know,
Absolutely.
my head throbbing, you know, I would have an edible and be able to relax. And that definitely was something that I relied on. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to be like telling people about that, you know, all the time, that I was smoking or had these concussions, because that creates you know, a situation where you're damaged goods.
Yeah.
You know? And you're not going to get recruited, right? And so it was something that I had to just deal with at the time. Weed was a great way to deal with that and the general stresses of life. And then, by the time I got to college, you know, my freshman year, was smoking pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
You know, in between classes, after practice, you know, and that really didn't, you know, slow me down. It was a way for me to find something that I was interested in while everybody else was drinking all the time.
Right.
And it was a good alternative, right? You definitely can pick up the stoner stereotype, and I was always the stoner among my friends.
Yeah.
We all smoked weed, but like everybody just knew I loved weed at a little bit of a different level.
Yeah.
And that was cool for me. You know? And I was like okay with that, because again, drinking didn't make me feel good the next day, right? Like if anything, I remember one time I had to smoke to feel better after drinking, right?
Every time.
Exactly.
Anytime I've had alcohol, I usually partook in cannabis the next day. For sure. So then while you were in college, what happened, you know, with football? How did that shift?
I mean, honestly, once you get a concussion, it happens once, and then it happens twice, and 3 times, and 4 times. And by the time you get 6 or 7 concussions, it can be pretty frustrating, because it doesn't necessarily mean you got hit so hard every time. The first concussion I ever had was in high school, the end of my junior year. So I was fortunate enough that was the last game of the season. So I didn't have to like keep going and deal with that again in another game. But I lost memory, you know, of the whole first half of the game. Wow. And it's crazy to think about now, because I actually remember not having memory. It's very interesting. Like, I remember
must have been
being
pretty
like,
scary.
Yeah, you're in a daze. It's almost like with these lights are on right here, like all the time. You know, you have that it's kind of like a glare. You know? And I remember asking my quarterback, who had been injured for 4 weeks already, like, yo, why are you not dressed up? Yeah. Like completely lost. Yeah. And the only reason they really found out I had a concussion when I was talking to somebody on the sidelines is my coach. I was supposed to be in the game. Yeah. But I forgot that the person I was subbing in for was injured.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was like, he's like, let's go. Like, you're supposed to be in the game. I'm like,
right.
Oh, okay. Like, it's a little too chill for the fact that I'm supposed to be in the game right now. And it took me a second to register. And I was like, okay, yeah. And I was going to run. He's like, no, you're not going anywhere. Like, you're shot. So that was in high school. And then by the time it was college, like my freshman year, I was having them in practice sometimes, and it wouldn't be necessarily like the memory lapse or anything, but just kind of hitting my head too hard would just give you this moment where it's almost like a lens, right? I call it. It's like when I put my glasses on, it's like a color, or the lights become super sensitive, and then it was like, oh, here we go again. And I have a migraine, you know? And I was just getting tired of that. Yeah. Quite frankly.
And so what was it like to have that shift and have cannabis become more of a priority in your life, and things like football take more of a back seat?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would say cannabis was a priority, or if it was like a consistent thing in my life, and it becoming a priority, I would say professionally, it definitely started to become a thing for me, because at that point now it's like 2017, 2016, 2017. And Colorado is like becoming more of a thing, right? Like these industries and markets that are recreational, or like people are talking about billions of dollars. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, that's dope, because I love smoking weed. And there's actually a gentleman, Russ Hudson. Okay. He had like a Vice episode. Yeah, okay. And he was, you know, in the Barcelona clubs, smoking weed, like, you know, lemon, like, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, like I could do that. I'm very much like, if I see somebody doing something that I think I can do, I'm like, I can do that. Right, you know? Of course. And so I saw him doing it. I was like, wow, it was like the first time I saw cannabis as a career path, you know, somebody doing it professionally. I was like, let me check that out. I'm sure that's happening around here. And nonetheless, I started seeing events, you know, en masse. I went to the Boston Freedom Rally back in 2016.
Okay.
Like, it's crazy. That's when Hemper was just running at the booths, and like you could meet the founder of Hemper at the booth.
Damn, 2016, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy time to think about.
Yeah. And I've been always like in the film and media side of things. So that was like, if I wasn't doing weed, I probably was, you know, pursuing film.
Right.
And I would just run around with my camera. And you know, this is when social media was just becoming a thing, and all the professionals that I meet in the industry like were not hip to social media.
Right.
You know, they were just like, cool, you do it.
Yeah. like you can
right.
figure it out.
Yeah.
For sure. Huh.
Yeah.
That's a pretty incredible evolution. So how do you feel currently about sports and weed and where it has gone, especially with like, you know, a lot of athletes being more open about their use in weed, a lot more of them talking openly about concussions and what those effects are like?
Yeah, I mean, it's I really enjoy it because, you know, I get to see, as somebody who has both of those identities, you know, at least the one as an athlete in the past, it's fun to see how athletes get involved. And, you know, for a lot of ways, athletes are some of the first advocates for cannabis beyond like terminally ill people or veterans. You know, athletes are some of the first people that people respect.
Yeah.
If they say they also smoke weed, that they're like, wow, you can do extraordinary things with your body.
Absolutely.
And you still consume this plant. How bad could it be for you? Not to say, you know, everything in cannabis is positive, but to say, you know, it gets people to question what they know to be as like such a bad thing.
When I learned Michael Phelps, like that was a huge thing. Right? When Michael Phelps, like everyone was like, "Oh my God, he smokes weed."
Chains, 8 gold medals, right? It's like it's hard to refute.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first times I was like, "Holy shit!" Like that's one of the biggest people I know, right? Like in that moment, that was like, "Oh yeah," and also I smoke weed.
Straight like that, Usain Bolt. Right? Usain Bolt's been in the conversation.
Dude,
I don't know, deny or confirm, whatever. But I think everybody, you know, they're like, Usain Bolt smoked weed, fastest man in the world on land and the fastest one in water, both smoking weed.
Yep.
Right? I mean, and then you think about like folks like
Sha'Carri Richardson.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fastest.
Oh my God. And that whole situation that just recently happened, that was crazy.
I keep going out.
Oh, no, that's totally
I have a lighter,
okay.
but I just...
I'm not gonna judge you. You can also start. There's also this Black Star Farms here.
Okay.
And this is pretty good. This is what I've been smoking too.
Yeah, I just, you know, we had the Fidels.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on
Flowers
here.
of Zion. So I just rolled that up before the show. Or I'll say stuffed it up. I don't need to lie. I didn't roll it. I don't need to lie to you all about what I did to prepare a joint.
I don't need to lie to you all.
Yes.
That's okay. You can lie.
All right, Black Star, right?
Yeah.
This is blunt. Can I just smoke yours?
Yeah, have some of this.
Yeah, I was like...
It's really good.
Let me just... I don't know if we need to start a whole nother one of those.
Like, here, light it up.
Yeah, it's like, you know, we'll get into the tea break, but
yeah. Oh, for sure. Okay, yeah. But I am curious, you know, how do you feel now about all of these people being more open about it and where this conversation could go?
I mean, I think pretty much every league, maybe besides FIFA, you know, at least the main ones in the U.S., have made some type of recommendation or comment about cannabis amongst the players.
Right.
So, like, that's crazy. I mean, that's something that we've seen in the last 5 years, which is really dope to see. MLB, NHL, NFL, NBA. They've all said something about weed right now. So, to me, like, that's where I'm like, okay, this is serious. And I mean, the crazy part is, I mean, for the NFL, I know explicitly NBA, NFL has been harder, I think, because of the testing in the past. But all these people smoke. If you talk to all the players, they've been smoking, you know?
Yeah.
Been. And I mean, in the 80s, you talk about Jordan, when Michael Jordan in his documentary talked about like all the other drugs that people would do. And the crazy thing when you think about it is like, the reason cannabis is such a pain in the ass for people and athletes regarding testing is because it stays in your system for 30 days.
Yeah, exactly.
You can go do coke on the weekend and by Monday you could get it out your system.
That's what everyone would say. That's literally like, you'd be like, hey, do you want to come smoke? And they'd be like, no, it's not going to be out my system in time. Like, that is crazy that you are choosing to do like what I think is objectively a harder drug just because it's going to leave your system sooner.
I mean,
and
alcohol
that's the
is
caveat.
objectively a harder drug.
Exactly.
And it's been legal, right? So I think that's been dope. And athletes also have been able to invest more and more.
Yeah, that's been really cool to watch too.
I think, without being overly explicit, like even in hybrid, we have probably 4 or 5 investors that are athletes or were athletes in college.
Okay, that's so amazing.
So it's a really strong rapport of like, I think we have 2 ex-NFL, 1 current NFL player and 1 previous. And that's all I'll say right now because I don't, you know what I mean? I don't need to put anybody on blast, but like, and then we have a previous Division I athlete that I played with. And I could probably find others that I even asked them if they played sports, but it's crazy how many athletes are, interested in this, willing to put money and energy and belief.
And their names.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that shows you a lot about the plant.
Wow, that's so cool. When do you think there will be a Super Bowl commercial for weed?
That's a little different. And I don't know if ever. Well, you know why I shouldn't say if ever, but it's going to take a little bit longer because of the federal illegality of it.
For sure.
Right? And I think the ironic part is that we always see so much beer and alcohol.
Exactly.
That's the only main ironic part, you know? If there wasn't beer on commercials because it was the viewership had enough people that they know will be underage, then I would be like, oh, okay, cool, I get it. But they don't do the same rules and blocks and censors for alcohol that they do for weed.
For sure.
And that to me is crazy because, as we talked about, it's objectively worse for your body.
Yeah.
So I think that's the part that kills me because, a lot of compliance in New Jersey, for example, I'm from Jersey, so I've been looking at the regs a lot. And, for the advertising regulations, about 70% of the viewership has to be confirmed above age for you to be marketing cannabis to it.
Yeah.
And so that's just something that you think about with the Super Bowl is like how many people are above 21 that are watching the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
If it's only like 50, 60% in cannabis by New Jersey standards, like that wouldn't be enough.
Exactly. You're right. Wow. That is a really fascinating take on that. Huh. Okay, and
so
then
federal legality though,
yeah,
because once it's federally legal, things will open up. I mean, weed maps they got blocked.
They got blocked. So many people for the past couple. There's been other businesses and brands who have tried to break through, but can't, and they always get red tape. It just hasn't been able to pass, and so I think that there's definitely a possibility, maybe something that's even CBD. I feel like could sneak through at some point,
right?
But yeah, the NFL is very conservative.
But then CBD, right? It's not federally legal.
That's true.
So that's the same point.
Yeah.
Right. It's
okay.
Because it's it's
correct.
like a federal agency that does this on I don't know. Somebody check, but I'm good on that right now. we might have to start something else, to be honest. Just give it a second for me. I'm fucking smacked. Dude. Is this we want to talk about tea break now? Because I'm fucking smacked.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh my God. Wait, that's right. Oh no, I might get Nadir too high because okay, so you just took a tea break.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me about that. Tell me about how not smoking weed went, and then how basically facing a joint and half a hemp wrap blunt. Half a blunt.
Yeah, that's what I was like. You're trying to start a whole nother hemp wrap blunt.
You want? I know. I was about to hand you your own.
I know. I was like, no, I don't need that right now. I need to eat a gummy.
So why'd you want to take a tea break?
I think I've been, first of all, taking a routine tea break for 3 years now for Ramadan, or at least during 30 days during the time that Ramadan is.
Right.
I have a lot of Muslim friends. Being from New Jersey, honestly, I think about it as one of the most diverse places you could ever be.
Yeah.
New Jersey, New York, every type of ethnicity is, in abundance where I'm from.
Totally.
It's crazy to even say that, but it's you have Asian people,
DC
Black
is kind of similar.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
But even the Asian people, it's 100 different types. It's not like where you go some places it's a heavy Korean contingency,
I feel
or, this is China over little China. No, this is just every fucking body over there. And then a whole bunch of Muslim people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're all from different fucking places too. And I'm like, oh, okay. There's a big world out there, and it's something that you don't get to see all the time surrounding you.
Yeah.
So that just influenced me. Plus COVID, you know, I was like, let me take a break real quick because it's a lung disease or an illness, a sickness, like
totally.
And I'm like, so those kind of factors made me be like, I'm home, let's take a tea break. It's easier to also take a tea break when you're by yourself. It's also easier when you're with people doing it as a community. So even though maybe other stoners that I know aren't doing a tea break, like I'm doing it, as part of the time Ramadan is. So that's been good. I really enjoyed it. Today I told you, I was like, I think I might try to do it every month, every season. Yeah. Like once a month, every season.
I am just looking at your eyes.
They're smacked. You haven't seen me this high. Maybe that's why.
I haven't.
Right? Yeah,
I don't think I have. Yeah. Because whenever we would hang out, you're just smoking nonstop. Right. I'm sorry. I was like looking at you, just giggling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm fucking.
But the tea break works. Like.
Yes.
I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of the decision to want to do it more on like a monthly basis.
Yeah, well, not monthly. Once a season.
I'm sorry, once a season. I don't know.
Yeah, once a season. Because I said it real complicated. Once a month, every season.
Okay.
Yeah, that was hard to catch. I'm sorry, dude.
Okay, well, so did you learn any like good lessons on this tea break? Any insights that you want to share with us?
Insights. I mean, I'm gonna eat this real quick. Let me get at this flavor.
What is it?
It's the sour punch straws.
Oh yeah.
You asked me what I'm trying to bust down. I haven't been eating as much of these because I've been fasting too.
You were fasting? Yeah, that's right.
So it's good to fast while I do a tea break because it's like a super cleanse, for a month. And I think, definitely the dreams are crazy with weed or without, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like crazy. I had every type of dream.
Was it like nightmares?
Every type of dream. Good dreams.
Good dreams. You're like
bad dreams. Good dreams, bad dreams, dreams. It was a fucking movie. I was like, God damn.
Wow. Did it affect your sleep?
Some nights for sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, damn, I'll be thinking about that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
And it's just like end of world dreams.
Did you just cold turkey or did you use CBD? Like.
Yeah, just cold turkey. Done. I have a flavored vape. No nicotine, no CBD.
Just like an air vape.
Air vape.
Okay.
Because it's half the battle is you miss smoking. I miss smoking, first of all. Let me not speak for everybody. I miss smoking.
No, I do think a lot of people have the, like oral fixation.
It's cool to smoke. It feels fly as shit. You can't tell me that doesn't feel fly. Like, that's cool.
It's deep breathing.
It's fucking meditation, yes.
It's amazing.
That's all it is, though.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to get out your head. Like, I feel like everybody has that thing in the back of their head that, like, tells them what's right. And it's hard sometimes to just, not do what that little voice is saying. And you just got to try to get in tune with that little voice.
Yeah.
Or understand why your little voice talks like that.
Totally.
Because your little voice is a part of you that you trying to get in tune with.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like you did get some good clarity. Is there anything that you also supplemented with that you felt like helped you kind of make it to the 30 days?
Doing other stuff, working out.
Yeah. Would you say you were more productive?
I don't think so.
Interesting. Okay. Fascinating.
I don't think I was that shit. I don't believe that.
Huh.
I mean, maybe there's, other things that affect, when you smoke, but I wouldn't say productivity was one. I was just still getting shit done. Yeah. Still exhausted at a similar rate. It was just like in those times, I couldn't smoke. And it's different for me because I had a high tolerance.
Yeah.
I still kind of have a high tolerance. I smoked a joint after 30 days and I was still like not like dead. Like I was like, oh, all right. I could smoke.
It took until the next one to get you.
Yeah, after the smoke, I was like, oh shit.
You're like,
shit.
Yeah, this is what smoking's like.
Yeah, then I rode a bird home. That shit was sick. Bird scooter. bird scooter.
I was like,
I
what?
love saying it like that.
I was like, what weed were you smoking?
I would have burned.
What?
It's real LA shit. Real LA shit. That's why. Yeah. Straight like that. I rode a bird home. But it feels like that, honestly.
Okay, that is so funny.
Because I took a nice little scenic
cruise.
street. Yeah, and the street was really nicely paved. I just catch the wind.
Yeah.
Going 16 miles an hour.
For sure. I need to take a tea break, I feel like. I should.
It's tough in LA.
It is tough. It's tough
easier when I was at home, you know. So I started the first 2 weeks, and then I did 2 weeks in LA.
Yeah.
2 weeks in LA is tough.
Yeah.
It's a different level of
I feel like everywhere you go,
yeah.
you know, and that's like saying like everywhere you go, if you're going to a bar, like people are drinking. Like, of course, if you put yourself in those situations, then yeah, everyone's going to be smoking
those situations,
weed.
right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
We could do just podcast episodes, I suppose, where like we're not smoking weed. But I don't know. I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, there's a time there's those podcasts. But I mean,
that could exactly.
They exist already.
Yeah, I'm like that already happens. It's like the bulk actually of podcasts. That's what makes this.
Stoners be like.
That's what makes this different.
Like, there's shit that exists without smoking.
I know. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like all of the ones.
Oh my god.
Sometimes I do forget that like not everyone smokes weed.
I know. My mom be like, you got to understand that not everybody's involved like how you're. I'm like, I do get it, but I still am like, y'all smoke enough. Yeah. That's the thing. As a collective, you know, everybody else wouldn't classify themselves in the community, like you still smoke plenty.
Yeah. Well, so tell me more about your work also in the industry. And also, did your tea break affect your work at all?
No, just because people know that I smoke.
Yeah.
That's different.
You're like, people know. I don't need to prove anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they understand. They're not like, oh, you don't smoke. I never see you smoke. You know what I mean? Like there's not a doubt. They're like, oh, really? You're not smoking? That's kind of the thing, right? They're like, why are you not smoking?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the funny part about this industry.
Well, I think I have offered you and have watched people offer you weed like at least 86
They don't
times.
even, honestly, I don't blame them because it's a habit.
I kept forgetting.
They see me, they give me the weed. I'm like, right? Is that what it is? They look at me, they give me the weed.
Every time people would come up, they'd be like, you want some? Or like, you need some of this? And you'd be like, no, I'm on a tea break. No, I'm on a tea break.
Then I start pulling out my vape because I'm like, I got a thing.
Yeah.
It also blocks them. The vape blocks people because if you're blowing smoke at them, they know maybe not to give you some shit or they'll think twice. Like,
that's so funny. Okay, so tell me more about your work in the industry. I know especially now you're working on Hybrid, your baby, and I want to know what has it been like building Hybrid, and tell us a little elevator pitch on what it is.
Yes, I think you said something just now that triggered me in a way that just like gets me to thinking weed. I feel like weed makes me do this. And now I'm like, start appreciating weed. I'm going to get to the hybrid thing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But like you said, it's my baby. I really hope that I can make it like everybody's baby. You know?
Yeah.
That's really like...
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want it to be mine. I want it to be everybody's baby. Like, you have custody as well of this child. Like, I want
Everyone's also going to get hit up for child support. Yeah, so be prepared.
That's year 18. Year 18, right? You know? So in cannabis years, that's year 2.5. But yeah, I hope it's like something that I could really make for the community. Like, genuinely, like people know it as my thing right now because... there's a lot of things out there. And I just want people to know this is something that I created for us to hopefully make things easier for everybody who uses weed and just wants to be in touch with what things are going on or get recommended to weed by their friends. That's what I care about more. Not like, I discovered weed from this place that added, sent me an advertisement. Like, obviously... platforms have ads. Yeah. If you run it well and people want to be there, that means that people want to be where you're at.
For sure.
But nonetheless, everybody from, me, you, retailers, brands, in the sense that we can share amongst each other and not feel like it's a push all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I want people to just share weed with each other, this, you know, digitally, the way you would smoke weed and be like, yo, try this.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
And so that's kind of what we're building with like product playlists.
Yeah.
And so beyond just getting drops and seeing what exclusive new products there are coming out.
Yeah.
January, February, March, you know, every month by month, week by week. I think that's a place that we can all chill at, you know, find things online, see what our friends are smoking, and save those products so that as we add more capabilities to get things in app, it'll be, you know, hopefully a useful thing, not just, you know. Yeah, that's what we're building.
I love it. I mean, I've been watching you build, and it's been pretty incredible. And it leads me to our next segment. I want to know what's in your bag, because you literally have all the best smoking supplies all the time. And I know that you were like, I could have brought better stuff, but I feel like this is pretty good. Like, I see some Fidels and I see some Lumpies.
Right. I mean, I think it's funny because there's a few brands out there that you just smoke the product and you know it's different. You
Totally.
know?
Yes.
Like, that's what I've noticed. People ask you about, what do you think is cool? What do you think is best? Like, I'm like, have you tried this shit? Because once you start trying it, I feel like the effects are there. I think obviously you have to have a level of palate and tolerance so that you're not just blazed by everything. But these are products that I really fuck with, right? Like the Lumpies, we'll start there. It's like pre-rolls that I got.
Yeah.
Weed in California is getting cheaper, right? It's not cheap.
Yeah.
It's getting cheaper.
At some places.
And I don't really want to associate that with Lumpies per se, but like now it's getting affordable on the legal market. That's all I'm saying. And so now something like this, you know, you're balancing, right? Like sometimes, especially on the East Coast, like getting weed same from your local dude, and sometimes going to the dispensary now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a full switch because that shit's bread. You know?
Yeah.
If I wasn't working in weed, I'd be fucking broke, you know?
Dude, what are the New Jersey dispo prices like? Like, how much would it be for an eighth?
I mean, the eighth, like, low-key start at 60. I mean...
They start?
Low-key start at 60, like, to get straight-up flour, you know? And that's for,
okay,
like,
what's, like, a
anything.
top shelf?
70, I think.
No.
Yeah. I mean, there's now...
Not even taxes, though.
I bought, you know, pre-ground weed. I smoke a bowl.
Yeah.
And a bong a lot at home. So it's like, I'm buying the $35 pre-ground weed, just to pack that. And like, that's, you know, you got to have weed that's just like every day. Like, let's get it going. And then you got your heady stash. And so, yeah, I mean, that's why I'm blessed right now, because the Lumpies, this is the all bud, no trim. This is Reckless Rainbow.
I love Lumpies.
They're just hitting.
They had this apple
fritter.
Something.
Apple fritter.
Atomic apple fritter.
Oh,
I think that's what it was called.
I know the apple fritter straight up is like their, and then I'm sure they've crossed
maybe it was
that
just atomic apple. It was a kind of it was something like that, but it was so good.
Yeah, that's been, you know, so that's hitting right there. I broke my tea break with the Lumpies.
Oh, you broke it with Lumpies.
Yeah, so that it gives a nice, you know.
Can I smell it?
Yeah, you can smoke it too if you want. Oh.
What?
Yeah, that's available.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm so happy.
Yeah, the Lumpies.
Are you sure it's the last one?
No, I got more.
Okay, you're like,
that's the one on the table.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's a table weed.
Yep. It's on the table. It's available.
Ooh. We have to take a picture of Lumpies because
Got to.
it's photographable weed.
It definitely is. I mean, so their flower is fire. So that's something that you pay for. I mean, I get the...
That's something that you pay for sure.
You know, like, I mean, some things I pay for, some things I don't pay for.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I do it.
What would you say is, like, your favorite way to smoke right now? Because I imagine for you, it probably... Does it shift?
No. I mean, I think I'll probably rock with the joints for now, because the bong, I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet. I just don't. I'm glad I did it, because that shit...
I'm actually really glad you didn't either.
I'm telling you, dude, that shit would put me down. So I'm good at knowing myself in that way, but yeah, that's just puffing. All right, don't canoe it.
I know I might. I was
chill.
like trying.
Now you just gotta light the one side, and that's it.
Here we
You got this. No, the other.
No.
You put it right there.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, you're just a smack though. Hold
I
on.
know.
Like, you chill. And you've been not smoking for 30 minutes. Like,
I know. Okay.
you got it?
I think it's a good thing we both didn't smoke the bong, even though I did bring the little bubbler.
But then I got this, the Carrots Fidels. Honestly, it doesn't tell me. Oh, Flowers of Zion. So yeah, this is
Okay,
I said
I almost
that earlier
fixed
too.
it.
Like that's how you know I'm fucking smack. This right here, some gas.
Here, we can trade.
Yep.
I almost fixed it. Just so all my
that's what I'm
audio
saying.
listeners know, I was very close to fixing it.
Gotcha.
Ooh, this Fidel smells really nice.
Yeah, it smells super clean. That came in the box collab that they did.
Okay.
And you know, I have that hash holes laying around at the crib inside the 3D printed
I
carrot.
love a good hash hole.
See, I would have brought the 3D printed carrot. I don't know why I didn't bring that.
That's okay.
I'm an idiot.
Go check it out.
Yeah, it's
On Hybrid.
I know. I'll definitely put it on there.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, that smells really nice. That smells like something I've smoked before. You know those like scent memories and it's so close. That smells really good.
Yeah,
I'm a big
so
fan.
You got 2/8 of that hash hole.
Damn.
So that's definitely had to come in the bag.
What makes like the perfect
Obama runs. Are you? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Spicy.
Oh.
Sorry, you were gonna say something?
I was gonna ask you, what to you makes like a great collaboration?
Great collab. I mean, it's just literally two complementary items. You know, when you think about what's the best collabs, PB&J.
Yeah, but I feel like
Right.
so many people don't actually get it though. You know?
Definitely, I think a level to collab is like what makes sense. You know, it doesn't always have to make too much sense. That's like artistic liberties, right? But what makes sense to you, and what are you trying to make people feel,
Yeah.
right? And I think out of this, right, this is like streetwear and flower coming together in a way that was bringing a unique product to market that's, you know, also the timing of things, right? Not only just like what makes sense, but the timing.
Yeah.
Because you're riding this wave and you're riding this wave, and if these things meet at the same time, it's going to do something fun based on the synergies in the community and the world and how each one is playing out, right?
Yeah.
Because you're, you know, that's that micro stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree. This Lumpies tastes amazing.
Yeah, get back
this
at
is
that.
crazy.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think that makes a great collab. You know, this one is what I really love about it too. I got gibbets, you know, from our Crocs in the collab. Right, that's part of
What
it.
is a gibbet?
Gibbets
I don't.
are
Yeah, I
the
was.
little things you put on Crocs.
I don't have Crocs. I don't know about
Oh.
Croc culture.
Oh. Take a moment. I'm fucking offended. Jeez. All right. Some people I feel like who don't wear Crocs, they're just like trying to prove a point, and it's not necessary. We don't need that point. We don't need.
It's not like I said I hate Crocs. I would never wear them. I just
All right,
I'm
yeah,
not
you're
a
right.
part of
You're
the
right.
Croc culture. I have no idea what a gibbet is. I've never tried them on, so it's not
All
like
right, no, it's cool. But I'm
you
just,
know, I'm coming kind of hot there. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Nah,
it's
it's
not like
cool.
I was like.
now some people are really stern about their Crocs and why they don't wear them. But jib is just the little things you put in them.
You're really used to the Croc hate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you see I'm triggered.
Yeah,
by
I
the
was
Croc
like,
hate.
damn. Like,
I've been through the weeds of the Croc haters.
shit.
Like, yo. I've encountered a
You've
few.
been through-
I've
I
converted
see.
a few too, I swear to God. If you hate Crocs, I'm coming for you. There's no way. And shout out to my friend Sierra, Rose Volca, at rose.volca,
Yeah.
R-O-Z-E. Go follow that woman. She working at Crocs now, though.
oh, that's amazing.
So I got a friend inside.
So she can send you the Crocs, and you know, Fidel's can send you the gibbets.
Exactly. So that resonates with the community.
There we go.
With both communities. The streetwear community, because Anwar
Yeah.
dropped Crocs. And then Fidel's, because he's putting his own style on the gibbets.
Yeah.
So boom, they complemented right there. You know, beyond Fidel bringing Anwar some, you know, a platform of cannabis and a
Right.
community that really cares about it.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I mean, I love the weed. I love the designs, and I think it's super sick. Yeah, what do you have back there? What are these last two items?
We got I think this is Panacea.
I thought it was Pangea.
No, it's Panacea. It's not Panacea. Panacea. It's not that. But Panacea. This is the Obama runs.
All right.
That's different. I haven't actually opened that up, but I brought it because it's fly.
Okay.
And it was really nice to me. So that matters.
Yeah.
Being nice to people. If I had a good, nice experience with the people from the company, that goes a lot. I'm going to try the weed too. Hopefully the weed's gas.
Hopefully.
And then we got originals. I know this is gas though.
I do love originals. Yeah, no, we know that's for sure.
You know that's gas.
Extremely
I'm trying to see. This is
good.
the Jack Herrera. So that's going to be fun. We could do that later.
We love... Yeah, no, we're not right now. Not right now. I'm like, you want to light that up?
But I did ice it off last night with the original. So I did the Lumpies originals.
Oh my God.
The original Lumpies.
Okay. That's... Yeah, how many hours did you sleep last night?
Honestly, a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I still got up. All right.
Okay. All right.
But I woke up like, damn. I woke up like, damn, I fucking smoked last night. So I won't lie about that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, so what can everyone look forward to from you, from Hybrid, from any other projects that you're working on? Yeah,
I would say, we're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff on Hybrid exclusively.
Okay.
So that'll be for the app. The app is going to be out for iOS beta. So people who are on the iOS beta.
Who wants to be a tester.
Exactly. That's going to be sick. It's going to be our first community. I'll make sure to, get everybody's emails so that we can reward people for rocking with us in this early phase. Because, this is, that dream stage right now. And now we got to stop building it and just share it with you all more and more. Yeah. And so that's kind of what I'm excited for. Giveaways, an easy place to get reminders of drops, whether you want this Fidel's Carrots drop. Anything Backpack Boys has been dropping. Alien Labs just did a Huff collab that dropped this past week, yesterday, I think. Okay. Sackville and Playboy, right? Like, there's a lot of things that are coming out that you may not know about. I know some people follow my broadcast channel on my Instagram. Yeah. So you can get a sense there of at Nadir Pearson, just what is coming up. I'm sending it to Instagram right now first because that's where we're finding a lot of this. But more and more we'll be talking to brands and letting them actually submit their drops within the app directly.
That's so cool.
So easy. Giveaways and reminders. Those are the nicest things we could do for you right now.
Amazing.
And I'm excited for that. So 420 week is coming up. Should be getting it in everybody's hands ASAP.
Yay. That's so exciting. What would you say has been one of the most challenging parts of building an app?
I would say right now is just that people want to see it work and, in a community setting. Yeah. Totally. Apps have to kind of propel themselves in a way once you create it. So people have to see a reason why they're coming there. Yeah. I have to learn how to explain it to people. Yeah. What we're trying to do and also make it self-explanatory. Yeah. At the same time. So it's been fun. That's honestly the hardest part right now is just building the community around it, getting people to buy in and see the value in certain regards, just because they have certain things that they use it for. And, I'm trying to get them to see the real purpose. So I have to build that in the app. So just honing in on all those things is was interesting. But it's been really a blessing. Honestly, I have a great team. I have 2 other co-founders. So having other people you can rely on allows me to just build the app and design it. And as a person who's just in the industry, understands what I'm missing. So I think that advantage is going to be great because there's Weed Maps, there's Leafly, there's Dutchy and all these other payment systems. And I think we're trying to build something pretty unique here that there's going to be only things available on Hybrid. So yeah. Okay. That's a plus.
I'm super excited. Yep. And before we go, what would you say is the biggest difference between East Coast and West Coast weed right now?
The biggest difference between East Coast and West Coast weed is what is scale?
Scale.
And when I mean scale, not like how big the grows are, but how scaled the markets are.
Interesting.
Right? Like,
okay.
When you think about legal East Coast weed, like there's going to be a lot of gas.
Yeah.
And a lot of, really great quality strains, products, flavors, because there already is in a certain regard.
Yeah.
But they're not able to operate in the legacy market. In the legal market as much. So we haven't been given access to the originals, the lumpies, the brands that we really see and recognize that are on the East Coast from the East Coast.
Yeah.
So that I think is the biggest difference, more than like you can find these weeds, in a good product, but you really have to be tapped in a different way right now.
Definitely.
Than when you are going to be legal in a legal market where it's like you don't have to be as tapped into the culture to get access to that. And you do on the East Coast right now to really know who's growing the shit that you got to be putting away.
Yeah. Damn, this is so exciting. I love talking to other East Coast people about weed because
Does that make sense, or I just went?
No, that was such a good answer because it is a lot of, coming from Maryland. Like I moved to LA to do work in weed. Like I know you've spent time in LA to do work in weed. You had to build your own community at Brown, to have.
And the West Coast is different in a positive way because of like NorCal and the fact that there's literally an environment there that grows weed bomb has let people really hone in on what growing weed bomb is. So that's, different than East Coast because I feel like, more East Coast has to be indoor than not.
Yeah.
But I've had a really great time smoking. Like I've been telling people about Rhode Island weed for years.
Dude, weed from Maine?
Like there's a lot of weed on the East Coast that I'm like, they're tapped into, even on the indoor side.
There's some Maryland. A lot of the East Coast is low-key agricultural, just in different ways. Like, Maryland actually has a ton of agriculture.
No, definitely.
And so, there's some fire, oh my God, some absolutely fire product I've had from Maryland. But, I will say, it's not like you can always find that. It's still medical, and the options just are not the same as they are here.
Yeah, I think, like Mammoth Inc. in Rhode Island.
Wow.
Gas.
Okay.
They got the GG4.
Are we going to Rhode Island?
The Scooby snacks. It's a lot like face off OG crosses.
Yeah. Okay.
Going crazy.
Okay.
And that was something that I was privileged to access. Because I was a patient in Rhode Island in college. I switched my address for a little bit to be a patient. That was cool.
It was medical at that point?
It's been medical for some time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
In Rhode Island, definitely.
You learned something new.
And it was pretty easy. Like my roommate used to go because that's how I really got up on smoking too. Low key was my roommate at Brown, and like a few of the kids at Brown, like white kids, like put me up. Like he had a crazy bong with an ash catcher and shit. And I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, oh, this is fire.
Bongs with ash catchers, especially in college, was like crazy.
What? I was like, oh, what are you doing? Like, and it was hitting clean. And then he put me on to the local smoke shop that used to do 420 sales, like 50% off.
Yeah. Damn. What a time. And
I'll get that's how I got some of my first bongs. Honestly, I think the bong that I have today is that one. I bought a few, like almost every year I would go to that 420 sale, get some shit for $80. That was $190, $200 bong,
I remember my first
bong.
bong.
Rhode Island put me on to a lot. Just like good legal weed, but those are 10,000 square foot grows. So it was like to me truly craft weed on the East Coast in a different way. They're like West Coast has craft, but they always had scale.
Right.
You could be growing that much outdoor. Like Humboldt is known for that same way that, that's, those same NorCal regions are known for wine, the Napa Valley or these places that like the climate is right.
Yeah.
You can't get mad.
No.
East Coast people, we really like, come on, we grow good weed too.
I mean,
like, it's like you do, bro. Relax.
You do.
But like the climate is right there. You can't be mad.
Yeah.
Like don't violate. Like you respect that too.
The oldest trees in the world.
You feel me? Like respect that. The earth is right. So it depends. How you view weed. Like indoor is great, but there's also like a natural weed that can grow. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool too.
No, dude, I feel you. Like
outside with the sun. Bow.
Have you, like, the soil here is different. There's a saying that anyone can grow in the right soil. It's all about where you're building that foundation and planting your roots.
It's kind of done. We got more lumpies. Don't worry, I got you.
I was like, yeah.
You can see the despair in your eyes.
I tried I tried to fix my face, but I wasn't fast enough.
I can see the despair.
There was something going.
Don't worry, I got it. I got you. We got more lumpies. Relax.
That was immediate.
Yeah.
Like immediate. Just like, no.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I was like, listen.
I don't like lumpies or anything.
Yeah.
I don't like weed.
I know it's good.
It was really good. That's, oh my God. I really tried to fix my face.
This shit is good. I had 5. Listen, I bought some. This is in
I'm pretty sure I look possessed. Like, I don't know what face that was, but
Yo, dude. I was like, yo, I can see it. It's a little, you didn't do too much, honestly.
It felt kind of like a lot.
You felt that shit in your spirit. I'm just saying, I could see it in your spirit. It might have been the weed to help me. But
that's so funny. Oh my God. Okay. I am super smacked. Thank you so much for coming on today and planning this on such short notice.
You're just gonna rip it. I know. You could just tell me
I thought this was really fun.
She gave me the talking points.
Yeah.
Right now in front of you.
We hit everything.
I was blessed. Thank you so much for having me. I'm, so glad we got to do a beautiful episode of Send Us Flowers.
Dude, I'm sending you all the flowers.
Yes.
You've done so much. Like, this episode doesn't even do it justice. Like, we need to do like 3 parts on all the things you do. Like, this dude he's got like a hand in everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point it's like relationships.
Yeah.
That's all it becomes down to.
No, absolutely. And you're so, it's genuine too. And like, I feel that when you say, you're building something for the community and that this is to be helpful and to help people, find like pretty fire products and
find the gas and share it with your friends. I think that's probably the biggest thing. I got to talk about that more is like share it with people.
Well, dude, that's like, what
just
this
me and
is
you share.
for.
Yeah, like, oh, you like this, I like this. Oh, word, let me share it. Like, same people be on Pinterest. They're like, oh, I like that product. Where'd you get that one? And, we'll add in all the information about where you get it and all that bullshit that people are doing already. Like, but it's me and you talking about what we like, and me being able to trust you that you're going to add new stuff to your profile. That's cool, fun. And I'm going to do the same. And I'll have a playlist of like fireweed on the East Coast. And you're like, oh, word, this is my Cali special.
Yes. Like, no, seriously. I mean, people all the time are, DMing me, DMing you, I'm sure, of like, hey, what dispo should I stop at? Or, hey, who dropped this? Or who has this? Or
that's what they'd be asking me. And I was like, how do I make this for all of us? Influencers, creators.
What
right?
are the 420 events coming up?
Exactly. They're going to keep asking me. I'm going to keep fucking putting that shit in this thing. And like, that's it, in the app. And we'll listen. If you have anything we want to add, let me know. Like,
but that's okay. So something, and
I'm
then
accessible.
Sorry, I know I said we were like dipping, but give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So, for all my audio listeners, I really want you to just come on to video to see all the hand motions.
No, I do. I talk with my hands too, so.
That's the aspect though of like evolution is like, you're like a little bit younger than me. And even listening to people who are like, even just like a few years younger, like their first time smoking is different. They're able to find information on Google.
Right.
Like that was like right at the cusp. And so to be able to have just like more of an informed experience, and it doesn't have to be this whole like nerd out thing. It can be whatever degree of it you want actually at this point. And so like just to be able to know though, hey, like this is the environment you can be in. You can play video games and have graham crackers and it be like a chill experience. And like, you know, your parent can be informed and you can look stuff up and learn things with other people in a way that's not this like seedy underground, like, ooh, you smoke weed. Like, I think that's so cool. And to be able to build a community of that, like, I know we're talking about it like, oh yeah, and we're doing this thing and it's really cool, but I want to step back because you could never do this before.
Right.
Like, you could never do this before.
No, yeah, I mean, even to be talking about it, right, is still...
And like as a thing you're doing as a job, like in like real life that you can like tell people about, that it's an app and, you know, they can share recommendations with people and it doesn't have to be this like, you know, wink, wink, nod, nod situation.
And you can take from it what you want, like you said. And I think that, you know, level of informedness and trust that you have amongst friends and people that you trust because you didn't know where you were getting it from is kind of where that distrust
it
came into the first place.
For sure.
And so that's what we need to bring back is the trust amongst people and not necessarily having to rely on the brand to tell you everything about it, right? Like people will tell you about it because I stashed it to my profile and that's a place that you want to know to go. That like, what's he smoking on, right? What are you smoking on? Oh, okay, great. Use that to inform your decision about what's right for you.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely trying to make that easy for people. I think.
No, I love that. Like that's the fucking future. I don't know. I think that's really cool. Like it's really crazy. Anyone who's
we can trust each other more.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even
Reddit, right? Like that's why you go to Reddit.
I was about to say,
Reddit is like low key crazy for weed, like.
Dude, but like you wouldn't know that. Like I feel like Reddit isn't. I feel like it's become more mainstream, but it wasn't.
No,
you were like kind of a nerd if you used Reddit.
To like, oh, should be on Reddit first. Like it's on Reddit first. I'm like, oh,
yeah, it became
crazy.
Like the first page of the internet.
Reddit, Twitter, Instagram. Like what?
Yeah, and so I don't know. I think that's super dope. Like you've never been able to do this before. Now you can, and to be able to have like that level of community and communication around it. Like, dude, okay, you know this life. Like you would have like a slew of dealers, but you always had the one that was like your top, like your go-to. They were nice. They had good stuff. They didn't bother you too much. They were always on time. Like just good shit. If they weren't available though.
They was at home and I could pull up.
Sorry, say that again.
I said on time for them was being at home, so I could just come by and scoop and go home. Exactly. Yo, it's good. Oh, let me hit a little bowl. All right, thank you. Beep. That's all everybody wants. Everybody just wants to go, get a little bit more than what they asked for, and go home and have a smooth interaction.
Yes, but that person wasn't always available. And so you had to go, you know, down the list. And like you only even knew that from experience or because like a homie hooked you up with someone. But like now I feel like that shift is not appreciated enough sometimes.
That's why creators are so important in cannabis though.
That too. Because
not everybody wants their advice directly from the brand. So they count on creators to be promoting things, whether or not, you know, they get paid for it or not, or it's just me creating content because I like this brand. But nonetheless, of what they would recommend. That's really what people are trying to find.
They can't do traditional ads, like typically.
Yeah. That's the first thing that people think of. But the reality of why creators and influencers are important in general is because it's a person to person.
Well, no one understands that though from a brand perspective because you have to make it make sense monetarily. So that's why that is the first thing that I go to. Because I'm like, hey, you can't run an ad there.
Yeah.
But you could with me.
Yeah, now it's just trying to make it so that like creators can put their links to things about weed more easily related to the products.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't really do that before. But yeah.
No, it's dope.
Person to person trust. That's like.
It's key.
In weed, it's like. That's the shit.
For sure. Dude, okay, this was amazing. You're the shit. I definitely trust you with any recommendations. This was all fire, as you can all clearly
just want to do you right.
See, yeah.
You know, smoke right, live good.
And we've got more. We have stuff we haven't even opened yet.
I know you got a bunch of.
I got a bunch of stuff.
They didn't even talk about this one. This was crazy.
I know. I haven't tried it yet, though, so I didn't want to, like, put my name on it.
I don't want to put my name on it, but the bag is crazy. This is nerds. You got to be careful with that, though.
No, right?
People be getting sued.
No, also, that's for real.
They be getting sued.
Yeah.
That's Skittles.
Yeah, so maybe we should put that, though. I mean, it's not my problem, but I don't want it to be. I don't wish it upon anyone else.
No, okay. But a lot of people do
that. All right. Anything? Any parting words?
Watch that at Send Us Flowers.
You heard it here first.
That's it. That's all it is.
Oh my God, amazing. Okay. If you want to be a tester for hybrid, hit up Nadir and subscribe. I'm sending you all flowers. I'm trying to be better about telling people to like subscribe and stuff.
Subscribe, save, all that.
Do the things. Liking helps. Follow. Oh, Spotify. My Spotify people. This is a video. I don't know if you knew that, but it is. And all my episodes are videos. Fire. Surprise! I'm trying to talk about that more too.
That's fire.
Because apparently, I don't think that was clear. And there's also... I'm going to laugh so hard editing this. Oh my God.
I'm like, this guy is smacked out his mind.
Also, please leave a review for Spotify, preferably 5 stars, if you so choose. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for watching Send Us Flowers. Have an awesome day. Bye. Okay, now we're done.